Great.
Hey, good morning. Good morning for me, at least.
This
is Chillie with the Cruise Amigos live from Virginia. I've got several people in house this morning. Of course, and our crew down below me is John Reitmeyer. He's up there in Crookston, Minnesota. And the fellow with a little bit of lacking of hair on top with the Big Ben in the background, that's Pete Hall. He's over in London. And our two guests this morning from Variety Cruises, we've got the communications director. I might have the title wrong. That's Constantine, who's right next to me. And then from the sales department is Malvina. And welcome to the Cruise Amigos live from Virginia. Constantine, first I'll ask you.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Bring us up to date on where everything stands as far as cruises in process and what you're doing and when you're going to be starting more and so forth.
One second. So okay. We are, I'm going to have Malvina lead me. So, okay. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, we can.
Yes, so let me just switch this.
We're used to having some technical glitches. Sometimes when you do live broadcasts all around the world, things can happen.
Oh, I should have brought my ukulele.
Okay, you need to click on your mic button because it's showing that it's muted. There you go.
Okay, perfect. So I'll let Malvina start off with that. The question was, where are we now with the programs and all that? That's kind of like, what are we doing right now, correct?
Yeah.
So we were the first cruise line to actually restart operations in Greece as of July 24th. So that was a great win for us and a great bet for us. We acted swiftly and we put in place health and safety protocols. So we're able to restart and also be actually full with the capacity on board our ship. So we are still in our Greece season. We have completed 8 departures already, and our last departure for the season departs tomorrow. So we're very glad that we had a very successful COVID-free season, and we also managed, to maintain and remain true to our concept of small ship cruising, of a great ambience on board, even though we had very strict protocols. So this was also a great bet for us. Next in line are the Seychelles. We are restarting operations as of January 16th. We are in the Seychelles since 2012 with our all year round operations on board our 21 cabin Pegasus. It's a catamaran motor yacht. So our passengers are a great mix, even in the Seychelles. Here it is. They're a great mix of mostly Europeans. So it's an island hopping cruise, 10 islands in 7 nights. It's a great way to discover the archipelago, and now more than ever, it's also a great way, to reach small uninhabited islands, to be away from the crowds. So it's basically Mae and Pralen who are islands where we dock. All the other islands.
Uh-oh. We had a slight freeze there.
Yeah, I get the feeling, guys, that the connection from Greece is not that great.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, we Greeks are a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Your cruises now you're just finishing up. Have you been using more nationalities? I know our friend Sue Bryant was on one of them on the Galileo. Has it been open to all passenger? I mean, European folks, or are you limited?
Yes, no, we are open to all. So as long as Greece was open to certain travelers, we were also open to everyone. So pretty much we had a great mix of from the UK, French, Spanish, from Belgium, Sweden,
Greece.
and it was the first time that we also had Greeks on board. So that was a great surprise for us too. We tried hard, and we never really pushed our cruises in Greece to Greeks, but eventually it's a concept that they liked. So we are going to to continue pushing it to Greeks as well for next year. We unfortunately we couldn't welcome passengers from the US. As out was done for all European countries. But we are waiting for you next year.
Yeah, we're waiting for a lot in the U.S. On your health protocols, do you require testing before passengers get on the ship?
No, it's not a requirement, as it's also not a requirement to enter Greece with a PCR test. It's not like French Polynesia or the Seychelles, who do require a test before you enter the country. We as a country, we didn't require the test. However, we realized because we were, in touch at a daily basis with passengers, and we also saw them in port before embarkation. We realized that most of our passengers actually did the test anyway before they left their countries. So there was, this like not a pact, but there was this idea of them wanting also to be sure that they're not going to come to a country who was relatively COVID-free, with a chance of also, having the virus. So that's what we realized. But no, it wasn't necessary.
Hi, I'm Pete from London, by the way, Constantine. I'm sorry, Malvina. Yeah. I've got a question. Hi, Constantine. You're there as well. I've got a question because, am I correct that you've pretty well sailed as normal through the summer, and have all of your yachts been sailing?
I wouldn't say the word. I wouldn't use the word normal for anything that's going on right now in the travel industry. We had a number of our vessels. Basically, we paused them for the summer, and we focused.
Well, Constantine's focused. Because I've got another question to ask.
If you can hear us, we had another freeze, which I think he can tell from his computer.
3, 2.
Sorry.
Wow.
There we go.
Yes. So there were a lot of changes that occurred, and we adapted very fast to the industry requirements and the safety requirements. So one of the first things that happened, was we paused our cruises until we knew we had the safety protocols in place. So at some point,
Exactly.
At some point, we paused all of our cruises, and at the office and with the government and with all the safety protocols, we restructured on how to come back on our comeback, let's say. And on our comeback, we selected one of our vessels that would do would basically do our one of our best-selling cruises, which is the Jewels of the Cyclades, which is an intimate, small ship island experience. And we adapted by, first of all, we added, at the beginning, there were screenings through the countries that were coming at the airports. So we were in communication with that, Then, second of all, we had on our embarkation, we had safety forms that were filled out. We had daily and upon embarkation, but also daily temperature checks and oxygen checks. So our captain crew would check our guests daily. And one thing that we did, in addition to sanitizing the spaces and all of that stuff, which we do regardless of COVID, to be honest. So a few things we added is we added UV lamps in all of our spaces, interior spaces. So it's like a technology that will clear the space and remove any bacteria. But we also collaborated and partnered with a company called Pure Space, which is it's a French company, and it's a very, very safe way. Hospitals use Pure Space. So Pure Space is you put it in interior spaces. Hello, you put Pure Space in interior spaces, and it cleans all the area. And some yachts use that, like private yachts, and we also applied it as a cruise line.
Okay.
And last but not least, yes, go ahead.
Okay, no, finish off, please, Constantine. Finish off.
No, and I was just saying, and last but not least, we ensured social distancing by dropping our capacity from 50 guests to 30 guests. So we have, in addition to having some cabins that are, specific cabins were allotted as in case there is ever an outbreak, those are for isolation and for caretaking. But also we have a decreased capacity. So there is more space to lounge around, and in dinner, we can have spacing, and we've been following the protocols and adapting. And right now the way it is masks are required, of course, by all of our staff full time, but also from our guests, in all interior spaces and exterior spaces when they are unable to have more than 6 feet apart. So and we have we also provide the masks ourselves. So here you can see how cool I look in my mask.
What I'd like to What I wanted to ask was, for those who don't know a huge amount about Variety Cruise Line, could you just please talk about your yachts and where you cruise from? For instance, if I'm correct, you have 8 ships, is that correct? And I've also seen you've got 3 smaller private yachts, and you cruise from Greece, and you go to the Seychelles, which you talked about in January. I also see that you'll go to Malta, Valletta, for example. So just tell us a little bit more about Variety Cruise Line and your ships and where you go to, please.
Okay, perfect. I think it's very important to mention that the cruise line has celebrated 51 years in cruising, in small ship cruising. So it's a company since 1968. It's going a long way back, and it's a company that started by Constantine's grandfather, actually, Eugenius Venetopoulos, who was an historian, and he was actually a tour leader in land groups. So he chartered the first ship in 1968. He started operating, scheduled cruises on board caiques, actually, like the goulettes they have in Turkey. So that was the business in the first 20 or so years before the company moved to steel hull yachts, which is pretty much our concept now. So the company it's a family-owned company, Greek company, and we own 8 small ships with capacities from 34 to 72 passengers. So it's smaller than small.
Wow.
As well as 3 private yachts. So how we operate is we plan our deployment 24 months ahead, and usually it's 50-50 charters and scheduled cruises. So we have tour operators or alumni or direct marketing companies who charter our ships.
Hi, Sunny.
Hi, Sunny. We also have a Sunny here in the office. Who was actually, that's an interesting story. She was a past passenger with us, a repeat client. We have many repeaters. So after eight repeat cruises with us, she was actually recruited by us.
Wow.
We recruited her. Yes, and she's now our sales manager.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
There was
So
a
the sunny
picture that I found fascinating from the panorama. Obviously, some of your passengers, I don't know if that's the captain or somebody on the staff, but there seems to be much more communication with the upper level staff than you find on bigger ships. Is that true?
Exactly, that's how it is. It's a maximum. It's an average of 40 passengers. So on the first day, they're like on first name basis with the captain, with the crew. The captain, they can just walk into the bridge. It's an open bridge policy. Here, the captain is actually in Cuba. So he was actually showing where they are now and some marine technicalities that I don't know of. But I'm sure he.
Are you still sailing to Cuba?
No, not for the moment, but as soon as we can, as Cuba can actually allow for U.S. passengers to return, we'll surely be back. We're actually the first cruise line to operate cruises in Cuba, and there was a year, I think it was 2016, where we had 4 ships in Cuba. One of them was actually chartered by National Geographic as well.
Do you sail around Cuba?
To Cuba?
Do you actually sail around Cuba? Because I've been to Cuba a few times, and I love the Cayo Cocos, the part in the East Coast, a beautiful part of the world. So do you sail? Do you just operate from Havana?
From Havana to Lagos.
Havana to where?
Frozen.
Frozen again.
Oh, they know about Cuba. It's incredible because the ships are smaller, so they could probably get into different parts of Cuba. Yeah.
I think Sunny's getting her email over there in Greece.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you sail to the private beaches in Cuba rather than just from Havana, like into the Cayo Cocos, for instance?
We sailed from Havana. We then anchored in Maria La Gorda, for example. So we had wet landings in a very beautiful beach. Then we had a beach barbecue that lasted, till the night. We had bonfires. We had movie nights on board off the coast of Maria La Gorda. Then we went to Cayo Largo, and we were actually the only one allowed to sail because it's a natural, it's a marine, treasure.
Yeah.
So large ships weren't allowed. So it was discovered just by our small ships. Before sailing into Filda for Trinidad and also Cienfuegos, of course.
Wow. So if you didn't want the small ship experience, what a great opportunity to see parts of Cuba as well. Wow.
One of the controversial issues currently, at least in the U.S., because of our whole situation with the CDC, is how excursions are handled. I know what MSC has done successfully with their 7 sailings. I know Costa has done much the same thing. How do you, as a small cruise line, a small ship, handle excursions currently? Not, like you've done, like with the Galileo, for instance. How do y'all handle excursions today in the COVID era?
Yeah. So anyway, our shore excursions were organized in small groups. They're also optional, which means this year, for example, it wasn't that all 30 guests would join the excursion. What was done from the beginning was that we had of course our licensed tour guide who was talking with earphones actually. like yours, John.
Yep.
So that's how it was done. Also, our excursions, especially in Greece, were in open space archaeological spaces, as is Delos. Delos is an island, which is actually an island museum, open air. So that's how it was done. When we entered churches, we had our masks. So in all our excursions,
We're locked up again.
It's
I'm
worth
telling you,
being patient.
Sonny's getting her email.
Yeah.
There we go. I think she's
Sunny's
back.
working
Yeah.
very hard, and she's
So we've never gotten this far in a show before without talking about the food. You got to tell us about the food on board and how it's structured during the day and everything. We want to hear about the food.
Do you know about tzatziki?
Of course, yes. But let's tell our listeners who maybe don't know about the finest lamb and cucumber sauce in the universe. So let's talk about that. Sure.
Okay, so our gastronomy on board is very much Mediterranean focused, and especially when we are in Greece, it's mostly about Greek food at its best. So food made from Greeks, so it can't go bad. So what we have is we also have more Mediterranean choices for those who still want to have more European food, but of course it's very Greek heavy, the cuisine. A lot of choriatiki salad with the Greek feta cheese sourced locally the island we're visiting. And other than having these in our menus, we also provide guests the possibility to, in our beach barbecue, for example, our chef makes the choriatiki in front of everyone at the beach, so that they can, have this in their mind when they come back home. The same is done with tzatziki.
Malvina, I think you've tortured John there, because I can see his lips are going. He's just so desperate to get over. I mean, we are coming over next year. The Cruise Amigos have a European tour, and we're going to be in Greece, in that part of the area, the end of September and October. So we can't wait. We absolutely can't wait. I mean, we're just so excited. So we have to try that, John, don't we? We really do.
Souvlaki is actually my...
Sorry?
We're going to make the tzatziki for you.
Okay.
When you're here.
Okay. By the leader, though. You have to make it by the leader. So...
We're gonna keep you to that, Constantine. You know that, don't you?
What you guys might not know is John, and not so much Pete. Pete's a little guy. John and I are big fat guys. We love food, and
you're saying fat.
I've been known to have a cocktail or two myself.
Fat is a harsh word. You should not use it in such a manner. I mean, that's where the flavor comes in. We're flavorful guys, is what we are. So yes.
Do you know something, guys, as well? Yeah, Greece is in my heart. Yeah, I tell you why it's in my heart. No. When I was a kid, when I was younger, 18 years old, my first ever trip abroad was to Greece. And in my old days, I used to do acting work, and I was in a theatre. I was with the National Theatre, and we came over to Greece in 1982, and we did 2 performances of the Oresteia in Epidaurus. Your fantastic, incredible theatre. And we had something like 15,000 people there, and the entire Greek government were in the first row. And it was my first experience ever in Greece. And it was just the most magical time for me to be on that stage in a theatre which is 2,000 years old, doing the Greek national play, which is the Oresteia, all wearing masks, is probably the biggest privilege of my life. So my heart was with Greece.
That's not it, is it, Pete?
No, it's not. It's Epidaurus, an amphitheatre. Amphitheatre's got 15,000 people. Yeah.
If you love Greece so much, you should look up. Yesterday we had the relighting of the Parthenon, so it was like
Wow.
a very big project that it's been going for like 6 months now. They've been renovating the lighting, and yesterday we were all very excited. The Acropolis, the lights went off for the first time in the evening, and then there was a whole light show, and the best scientists, technicians, video artists, and now the lights are back up. So speaking of Epidaurus, I'm saying and now it's what's interesting is for a few years now the Acropolis had a little bit of an orange kind of like filter at night, and now they removed that, and it's kind of like just showing the marble very clearly. So I suggest everyone looks that up. In this online day and age, it's for Greece, it was a very important moment.
And I'm guessing the excursions you do gives the opportunity to explore this incredible history as well in Greece and the islands.
Of course, yes, and and in everything that we do, I know Malvina spoke a little bit about the product.
3, 2.
There we go, freezing again.
They're back, right?
It's the smaller groups that make it special. So all of our excursions, we try to veer away from the mass excursions with the big groups and like the classic locations. So we really create more intimate things to show. Of course, we'll also see the big sites that people travel all over the world for, like the Acropolis and, things like that. But, we'll also go to places, very intimate temples, very intimate like farms, little things like that you couldn't really be doing on a big cruise ship.
Is this a normal cabin? This is, if I'm not mistaken, is off the Pegasus. Is that an average cabin on one of your ships?
That's a Category A cabin, which means it's one of the best cabins. But in general, our cabins don't have great differences in terms of measurements. The main difference is actually the deck they are located. First of all, and very importantly, all cabins are ocean view. We don't have interior cabins without any view to the sea.
Everything's on the outside. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So even if it's a cabin located on the lower deck, there's still a porthole, so you can feel connected to the sea, see the sea. Other than this, it's mostly it's the decks. Other than this, they have the same standards.
Twin or double cabin, some triple. No, there are a few configurations, but as Malvina said, they're not that big. The
I noticed on your website that you also do some no single supplement deals for next year as well for solo travelers. Is that correct?
Correct. We currently have.
Pete, turn off the logo there so we can see her. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Let's see. Can I do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
I can do that.
Right.
3, 2,
and
1.
This is a really important question, guys, because for all our
they're back right now.
Solos people that want to hear this, we need to know about what we solo deals, because it's great. I mean, of yachts and ships of this size, have the opportunity of having a solo deal on there with no single supplement.
Wow, they seem to be frozen up good this time.
Well, I think they were shocked by my question.
It was such a chilling question, Pete. It was a chilling
question.
Listen,
I'll flash up a few pictures until they come back, at least.
Yeah, we don't want to leave it there, do we?
You could be on that, and you could send pictures back home and say you rented a private yacht when you were over there. Look at that.
Look at that.
They blanked out completely now. That is that's off of the Galileo. They just swim right off the boat. I think that's fabulous.
Oh man,
I would enjoy that immensely.
Yeah, if you're a great swimmer, you could. What they seem to do is they say they port up at little beautiful beaches, and you can swim off the back of the yacht to the beach. If you're a confident swimmer, which is incredible. Wow. I love that idea, but I did see very briefly that they do these.
There we go.
Hey guys,
right, so we're back.
Sorry.
And now see how
Okay.
move you up here and get rid of Pete. There we go.
So you do
And
no
we're on
single
a
supplement
faster
deals?
internet now.
Oh, fantastic!
Yes. So yes, so solo travelers should also regularly check our website, because we do this not only for the Seychelles. Every now and then we have free single supplement offers for Greece, for Costa Rica and Panama, for Cape Verde, and we also see people they travel more and more, particularly on our long haul destinations. That perhaps it may seem a bit more, too much to travel on their own all that far. There are a lot of singles, coming together and regrouping, because they know that there's going to be more in our Seychelles cruises in Costa Rica and Panama, in West Africa.
Wow! So monitor the website for the no single supplement deals, and when they come up, grab them. I would say.
What's the best time? What's the best time then for? Do you like release cabins so long in advance, or when's the best time to try and catch a single supplement? No single supplement. When's the best time for a solo?
It's both. For example, we might have these offers when programs are released. For example, now we will release our winter 21-22 and summer 22 programs during this fall, and we may have promotions, early bird offers, or offers for solos.
So like way ahead, way ahead, like for next summer already.
Also may have some last minute, but it's not that we have, and it's not that we deny bookings to solos.
Right.
We don't have a certain percentage of solo cabins allocated. If 10 solos or 15 solos want to come on board, they will. We're not denying solo travelers cabins.
Oh wow,
that's great to know. And for any of you folks that are watching out there, or watch this on the replays, it's varietycruises.com, and it's a fascinating website. And just click through with the destinations and the ships. It's a lovely website. So,
another question I have is that I noticed, because we had on the show a while ago, Katarina Line from Croatia, similar to what you do, and one of the things I love is what they do is what I see that you do as well, is that you overnight in some of the ports.
Yes, we overnight in some of the ports. So for us, it is more of an experience where we really see the destinations. It's not like a few hours a tour and out. And in many of our destinations, for example, in our Greece programs, we even have something which it's a little complicated for people to understand. It's half board, so it means we have breakfast and one meal a day. So the reason we do that is not to save on our tzatziki, but it is because. but it's because we really want to encourage our guests to go out there and experience the local destination. In Greece, the tavernas are one of the most fascinating things. Just really getting with the authentic experience. And so we have a lot of half board and overnight experiences. We also have swim stops right off the boat. We say the Mediterranean is our swimming pool. So, it's these things that small ships allow for.
Well, Constantine, thank you, because you answered my next question. And I think anyone watching this, I think it's such a great idea, the half board idea. I really do. I think the fact that you can have the 2 meals on board, maybe a later breakfast if you're me, probably, yeah. But then, and a nice lunch, but then you can go, when you port overnight, you can try the local cuisine, and you can give something back to the local people as well. I just think that's I think you've got that absolutely right. I really do. I love it.
And just to add on something that Malvina said about how the company started, about it being a family company, I just wanted to say that this has been our family tradition at sea since 1949. It's when our grandfather first started going on the kayaks and exploring that, and then finally building the first ships. But yeah, this is in essence, this is a family tradition of a Greek family, and how that started. And this is really how Greeks, when they have the opportunity to be on a boat, it doesn't have to be the most luxurious yacht. It can be a small catamaran, it can be a small sailing boat. It's how we enjoy our meals, it's how we enjoy our swimming, it's how we enjoy overnighting in places. So it wasn't designed to, it wasn't designed for tourists. It was designed for people the way they really enjoy it. And then we just opened up our family to guests and more guests and groups and charters as well.
So there was Grandpa, and then there was your father, and then there's you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Grandpa started the company with nothing. He came. He came
sure.
from the war, started from nothing. Then my father took over and has been running the company for 40 years. And Malvina's, her father has been running marketing for, I think, 20 years.
Okay.
And then now my father is the chairman of the company, but my brother Philippos is the new CEO.
Right. So that's your generation, but what's to come? What's to come?
Yeah. We don't want to yet, but it seems like.
But are you? Is there intention to have the next? Is the next? Are there some boys and girls in the family that are out on the water and are going to carry it forward?
Yes, the whole families are involved.
Wonderful. See, where I live here in the middle of I'm exactly in the middle of North America, and I'm a fourth generation farmer here. So my great grandfather came from Germany as my great grandmother. And now we're down to 2 generations below me. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're down to 6 now.
Wow.
So that's a big thing for us. So to hear this from your family being now 3 generations of activity, but I want to hear about number 4 and maybe number 5.
They're starting. They're being trained.
That's really close to my heart. And I know that our cruisers that listen, that's part of the mystery, or that's what is important to them, is that this isn't just a business that somebody bought a boat to try and see how many tickets they can sell this year. This is something that's in your blood. It's in your family. It's it's a connection that they want to be a little part of for a week or two. So it's really neat.
And it's another thing that's very interesting and ties with what you say is that we have this 360 approach to our business. For example, we build our ships. We actually built 7 of our 8 ships in Piraeus in a shipyard.
Yep.
And we also, do all the deployment, the sales and marketing. We handpick each destination in all 5 continents we are now operating at. We have the engineers, a whole operations department, to run all the operations and marine operations and technical support. Then we have our accounting, our hotel, and everything from soaps, and everything is curated and decided in here. So this space of this office of 4 floors is actually the very heart of the company, with of course our partners in the US and the UK. Our office is there, also being the heartbeat as well of the company.
Fantastic. That's so neat. How often do you get on the water? When do you guys get on the water?
We have some exciting news.
We actually just came back from a workshop at sea. So we had 20 from our office, and then we had our crew, and we went to Aegina and we had a swim stop. So for 2 days between cruises, we jumped on and we had a fun training.
It was actually, we decided we're going to have some workshops and some brainstorming on the future of travel, on also how to approach, younger demographics. We're also developing theme cruises, wine voyages, wellness voyages. We're also thinking of having, a departure on keto diet specifically, or something like this. And we also had a life coach on board, and we are a bit,
hyped up.
Buzzing's the word, isn't it? Yeah. I think I can see you're both buzzing, which is great. One question I've got to ask about, because you mentioned you got offices in the United States and offices in the United Kingdom, where obviously we all are. So if anybody wanted to book with Variety Cruises from either the United States or the United Kingdom, can you book for travel agents, or do you have to go to your website? How do we actually get to book a cruise with you?
So they can book through their favorite travel agent, who will then go to our office in New York or in London and actually make the booking for the travel agent. Or they can, of course, also book directly with us on our website with a booking request form, or to reservations at varietycruises.com. In New York, our partner is actually Group IST Voyages, but it's actually Variety Cruises in New York. And in London, it's Seafarer Cruises, who have been our partners since forever, actually. Yeah, they all actually speak Greek. It's how much it's how long we've been collaborating.
Wow.
And they have our tzatziki recipe if you want it.
Oh, he wants it. You can see he wants it. Yeah.
Well, I've been cruising since 1978, and you guys have been in the business longer than I have. There's not many people around that can say that, and that's fabulous.
Yeah, we're actually working on a documentary now, and putting the whole story together. So soon we'll have like a whole film about the company, not a commercial, an actual film.
Right.
Goes
You have to let us know when that comes out, and we'll have you back on for a little bit, and we'll talk about that so the whole world can see it. So that would be wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think you guys need to make sure that Pete gets to dress up like this and march around with these guys when he's in Greece. That Pete should be doing that.
I can do that. Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll have some for you on board.
We've all seen the Mr. Bean episode where he annoys one of those people, the English.
What are you saying, Constantine? I was thinking, you're saying that, I was thinking more Bond, yeah?
Bond. James Bond.
Or Pete Bond, whatever. I was thinking more Bond would be.
When he was a baby, he was shaken, not stirred. That's what happened. So.
Yeah, I was. As you can see, that's why I got no hair left. Wow.
Well, this has been awesome, you guys. It is so much fun. We're just stuck here. You know, we can't. The best cruise we can do is a ferry boat across Lake Michigan for 2 hours. We're landlocked, so to hear your stories and to dream again of being out and on the blue Mediterranean just warms our hearts, and we thank you so much for sharing with us, and we hope that the days will pass quickly until our guests and maybe us one day will be able to actually see the Mediterranean and have our fingers touching the water and doing this. It's just been awesome. Thank you.
We're going to be there, John. We're going to be there next year.
A year? I can't wait a year. I cannot wait a year to do this. I'm going stir crazy.
And until then, social media are open, so you can follow us, Variety Cruises, and get the up-to-dates and see what we're going through and, all of that stuff.
Be jealous, but
yes. As you can tell.
We'll return to the channel and we'll be back in the seas again as of early 2021. So best yet to come.
Yes, and we hope that our visitor, or our guests at least, some of them have other ways to get to Europe, or they're in Europe. We have a lot of European listeners, of course, because Pete started this whole thing. I don't even know. We started 2 years ago, I guess now, Pete, right? We kind of started putting it together. So we have a lot of European listeners that can actually get to you guys safely. And so we're just hoping to start getting some reports back here quickly. So.
And we love your show. Very amazing work. And thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
I've got one
Thank you
question.
very much. And again, I just add what they say to both Constantine and Malvina. Thank you so much for being with us. It's been a fascinating show, and I look forward to following you guys in the future. And hopefully someday soon we can get out of the United States and get to Greece. Would be fabulous. and maybe we'll see you when we're there next fall. So again, thank you guys for being with us. That's going to wrap us up for Cruise Amigos live from Virginia. To all you guys that are in the audience, thanks for being with us. And again, thank you to you guys from Variety Cruises. And everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great day. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Take care.